So some people like long videos, some people like short videos, and this is a very short video because the last video was very long. And it's just a quick couple of tips to be able to help you guys along when you're doing a paint job. So first thing we're gonna do is talk about mounting your pieces on paint sticks. Let's say that you have a part that doesn't exactly snap on anywhere to your alligator clips because of the fact of it's oddly shaped. Take for instance, I'm working on the Exia dark matter right now. There's this little chest piece. Now, inside this chest piece, there's nowhere for me really to clip this on. Because if I'm gonna paint the kit, I don't wanna put the alligator clamp right there, because if I do that, it turns out to be a situation where once I paint it, that part's not gonna be painted and that's visible. So what do you do in this instance? Because I can't stick this thing in here. There's no way I can really mount this. So quick tip is you can buy this removable mounting tape. Now this stuff is like a putty. I used it before in the resin conversion kit video and just to hold the kit together so I could see what it looks like before I paint it and without committing to gluing it first. But it works excellent when it comes to mounting these Gundam parts as well. So what I do is take a little piece and just kind of make a little cannoli out of it. And I stick it inside here, just like that. So this part on the inside of the kit itself, you're not gonna see. So if there's no paint on it, it's not the end of the world. So then what I do is just clamp it to this and it holds. This will hold easily 40 PSI before blowing off. Actually, it'll hold a lot more than that, but there really isn't much you'd be spraying at that high of a PSI. So that's one thing, the tack. So the second thing is, let's say if it's a flat piece and you don't have anywhere, again, that you can clip this on, and there's nowhere that you could use the tack because this entire thing is going to be seen. This part's not going to be, but you get the idea. One thing I do is take pins. Yes, pins. These are insect pins, but you can use any other kind of pins. Yes, entomology was what got me into doing all this in the first place when I was a child, so I love insects. What I would do here is basically just puncture, not all the way through, but just, it's gonna be off camera because this is kind of a little hard. It's a hard piece of plastic. All I do is press in a little bit just so it holds. And this right here, you're not gonna really see the hole or anything like that because it kind of closes back up on itself. The whole key is just to make it very small. Then I take my alligator clip and now I have a part that is mounted for me to paint without issue. I can now get to all of the different areas in it and nothing will be unfinished. And then a third thing, and this is the last thing, there's something that I do that I've named it clearance sanding. Now I'm sure there's probably other names for it, but a lot of you have asked me, how do I paint joints and things like that without the paint coming off? Because if you put too much paint on it and there's already a tight clearance, well, it's just gonna rub the paint right off the second you go to paint. And that's why I do something called clearance sanding. I'm giving my paint more clearance. So this way, once I go to articulate a piece, the parts are not rubbing together. I have sanded off just a little bit to be able to allow for that paint. So you take, for instance, this knee part right here on the Exia dark matter. This in the middle is where it's going to be rubbing against the inner frame if I'm not careful. So what I do is take a fine file, stick it on the inside there. Now this one, it just kind of fits right in, so that's pretty convenient. But the premise is the same for any other parts that are going to be touching each other. And really all I do is just sand this thing down. Little by little, paint goes on very thin, so you don't have to do something like a huge gap. All you're doing is just sanding this down and basically that. And then what I would do is just clean this up, make sure my finger oils are not on it, and ready to paint. And that's it. That's it for today's video. Short and sweet. So if you like what you saw, hit that like button, subscribe, and share this video as well because it helps me a lot in building this channel and producing more content for you. Things considered, thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a great day and